dying per day.
So, has it been worth waiting for the additional vaccines before unlocking? And crucially, what should the priorities of the new Health Secretary be? Joining us now, Dr. Lawrence Skerris, GP at Same Day Doctor. Good to see you again. I'm just wondering, you've got a new Health Secretary since we last spoke. Has that given you cause for optimism?
Yes, Alex and Simon, I think it has, actually. I've seen health secretaries come and go. Without giving my age away, I think I go back to Barbara Castle. It's a terrible job. Famously, John Reid said, "Oh, expletive, not health," when he was told he was being given that job. But I think this is a unique opportunity. I mean, most health sectors come in and try to stamp their mark, usually by reorganising expensively and achieving very little. But this is a unique situation, and Sajid Javid can make some real changes. And as you've said at the top, let's get mental health, let's get these waiting lists down, let's deal with all the cancer referrals, let's free up the NHS to do those things, and let's stop some of the nonsense that's been going on with COVID, like whole year groups at school being sent home. But he does want to make his mark. I can't see things changing on the 5th of July, but I'm very hopeful that on the 19th we'll get the promised relief from lockdown that they've told us.
I mean, one thing that the pandemic has surely highlighted is quite how overburdened the NHS is with, 5.5 million people on hospital waiting lists. It's a huge responsibility to take over. How on earth is he going to cut those waiting lists down? What is the solution?
It's very difficult. At the start of the pandemic, the NHS commissioned a lot of beds in the private sector for COVID patients, but they were never used. And maybe they should revisit that. People have talked about, reopening the Nightingale centres. I think we need the same sort of lateral thinking, the same sort of creative approaches that we had at the beginning of COVID. We're dealing with the current waiting list. I think you're exactly right. That should be the priority. Let's get the waiting list down and let's think laterally. Don't allow patients to die on the waiting list or to suffer with their bad hips and knees. We need a much more constructive and lateral thinking approach to the whole thing.
And do we have to work on the basis that for the rest of our lives, there is going to be COVID, we've got to live with it?
I actually don't think so. I know that we've got this little third wave affecting some of the younger unvaccinated people. I'm still an optimist. I still feel that other viruses like SARS and swine flu disappeared. And although there are going to be reservoirs of COVID, I still feel that the virus will mutate, but mutate in a way that it eventually disappears and we've all got immunity. So no, we're going to have to live with it for a while, but then we live with flu and the potential of flu and other virus infections all the time. And although this has been worse, we've done so well in the UK with our vaccination programme that we should be much more optimistic than all that.
In sort of normal times, non-pandemic times, new health secretaries, like you said, have put their mark on the NHS and usually to the cries of, oh, they're going to privatise it. Do you think there are fundamental structural problems with our health service in the fact that it is one of the world's only fully state-funded health services?
Without a doubt, Alex, there are fundamental problems. No one wants to pretend it's in any way perfect, but people see this as a binary issue, that there are only two ways to run a health service, either our way or the American way. And that's simply not the case. Look, I've been talking about this for many years. I don't think this will change in my lifetime. The politicians know that if they start to charge any sort of user fees or insurance-based systems on the NHS, it will be an electoral disaster. And the Conservative Party have pretty much given up. If you go back to David Cameron saying what a fan he was of the health service and how he looked after his son, these scare stories about various governments trying to sell off or destroy the NHS, it won't happen. We just need to run the NHS better, whether that needs more money, better organisation. My approach would be far better education in terms of how to control demand on the health service. And some of that is down to the patients as well. Bear in mind, there's been criticism of GPs at the moment, but the GPs tell me that the demand on them has increased massively. during the pandemic, not just with COVID. So I think it's partly down to the health secretary, down to the staff in the health service, not just doctors and nurses, but all the staff. But I think it's time the patients participated and the patients thought, how best can I use the health service? Because most of us use it wrongly, in my opinion, and that causes a lot of the problems.
Would you be for fining people who don't turn up to appointments?
Well, yes and no. The problem with that, Simon, is that those are the very people that you're not going to get the money from, in reality. And my argument, and it's something I've observed in my practice, is if you make an appointment 2 weeks in advance, the patient's less likely to turn up. If you make an appointment for today or tomorrow, they're going to turn up. So to some extent, the DNA, or do not attend rate, is a part of the structural problem that patients are being given appointments too far in advance. By the time the appointment comes, they're either better or dead or very ill, to put it mildly. So I'm a great fan of user fees. I would revisit prescription fees as a starting point. Prescription fees now very high, something like £9 an item, but over 90% of prescriptions are dispensed free of charge. So I would look at that and see if we can have a fair and equitable way to get more fees from patients into the health service, to bring money to the health service in a way that fairly and reasonably controls the unreasonable demand. The health service, if you have anything free at the point of use, I've often said if you provided electricity free at the plugs, people would leave their heaters on. And that's my argument. And food and shelter, heating are all essentials just as much as health is, but we pay for all the others. I'm not suggesting a radical overhaul of the health service. It would be impossible to do. But I think we should look at the way that we have barriers to entry to using the health service, and that would probably help.
And I mean, do you think that there's a big problem that every single time someone wants to have an adult conversation about these things, and perhaps things that a lot of the population might actually agree with you on, and they might say, do you know what, I would be happy to pay for a GP appointment, let's say, if I knew that that was going to increase the quality of the service and actually help things along their way? Do you think it's time we were able to have an adult conversation? And in fact, there's this huge taboo surrounding conversations like that that's preventing us from moving forwards.
Exactly right. You use the word adult, and I think that's exactly right. Grown up, sensible, take the emotion out of it. I don't want to hear about, if we charge fees, someone might die because they can't find £1 or £5, because those people are dying now anyway because they can't access the health service. So, but this needs to be something that comes from us, the public, and maybe you, the media, rather than from the politicians. If the politicians try it, it won't work. So it's our job to say we want a better health service. We want to fund it better. We are prepared. Inevitably, the trouble with charging fees is that it will fall on the low-income working people, the middle class and lower middle classes. The wealthy people can afford to pay to see a doctor. People who are unemployed will probably be exempt. And so the trouble with any fee-based structure is it just falls on the middle group, the working people, who are the people who are probably under the most strain anyway. So we need to have a way of looking at this that brings actually money in, but at the same time controls demand. And I really am keen. No one's looked at the demand side of the health service. Everyone talks about supply, more doctors, more nurses, more operations. No one looks at the demand. And I can tell you, and I see this in my practice all the time, a good-going hypochondriac can run up thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds in CT scans, MRI scans, blood tests, with nothing wrong with them. And I and every other doctor will see some patients every day who are like that. People like yourselves in the media, you will only go to a doctor when you have something wrong with you that's easily solved. And that gives a misperception of how frontline in A&E in general practice is used and misused. People turning up at accident emergency with broken fingernails, sore throats, back pain they've had for 6 months. And the GPs, every GP will regale you with stories of how patients waste their time. The trouble is, as I said, the politicians can't say this. It's insulting to patients. And it's not every patient, of course, some of them. but there are some people that spoil the service for those that really need it.
Dr. Lawrence Gerris, it's really good to talk to you again, and we'll be talking to you again soon, I'm sure. Thank you very much for now.
Yes, some very forthright remarks there, and it's always a subject which instigates a lot of commentary. So let's have a look at what you've been saying. First up, a positive one here from Nicola. She says, I'm confused by all the claims of not being able to get appointments for months or see a GP in person. In my area, there is no problem. In fact, things have got better. I've had 3 specialist referrals during the pandemic, and all of them have given me an appointment within 3 weeks of the referral date. Fantastic service, easy and fast.
Well, Ronald says one significant priority for Mr Javid is to urgently fund the rebuilding of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Kings Lynn in Norfolk. The hospital, which serves West Norfolk, North Cambridgeshire and South Lincolnshire, is in a dire state, he says. Please tell Mr Javid that our hospital needs his immediate attention.
Cheryl says, when the government changed the pension rules for GPs, we lost a lot of them. I think when junior doctors complete their training, they should do 2 years in a GP surgery. This would give them experience and help the GP crisis.
And Angela, bring in apprenticeships for nursing and midwifery, not university courses. Let new workers train on the job and receive some payment during training. So do let us know your views. gbviews@gbnews.uk is the address.
Now, it's a strangely controversial topic, but tipping waiters and waitresses in the UK is often a matter of debate.
Yeah, how much should you tip? Are optional service charges a good idea? Can you leave a personal tip? Does the company keep any?
Well, a tips bill brought forward by Conservative MP Dean Russell will stop employers taking a share of the money you leave to reward their staff.
Well, believe it or not, there are businesses out there using your show of thanks to top up wages, with a lot of companies not allowing staff to accept any tips given to them personally.
Well, we are now joined by Paolo Tonelotto, who runs the Hyde Bar in Bermondsey. Paolo, what difference would this make to your staff?
None, actually. We have always been morally operating our businesses. So since the very beginning, of course, the optional service charge, it is optional and it goes entirely to our team. If there were to be cash tips, of course, they will collect them, and then I believe on a weekly basis they will share them amongst them. So perfectly fine by us. But I do understand how this could be needed to be more structured. If there's any company out there that doesn't do that, so I'm in favour for that. But when it comes to us, we are fine.
Paolo, just explain how that optional service charge thing works. We pay that on a card. What do you do at the end of the day? Do you work out which waiter or waitress that was and you will give them that set amount of money, or do you just divide it all up at the end of the day between all of them?
I mean, we are a small company, and therefore conversation with our team are quite easy to hold, of course. And the easiest way for all of us sounded like to be, we count the amount of hours that every single person has worked throughout the week rather than the month. We sum them all together. We have a big number. Hopefully, we will try to match it with the amount of optional service charge that is being given for the month. Simple division. We find what is the number of pound that you will get per worked hour, and then we multiply it. So everyone gets the same proportional amount based on the hours that he or she had worked.
There'll be people out there who might argue that that approach is basically subsidising wages and sort of, distributing tips doesn't necessarily reflect the performance of one person, whereas people coming might actually think, I particularly liked the service I received from this individual. They went above and beyond the call of duty, or perhaps this individual didn't do so well. So can you see, that opinion? Can you see how some people might think that?
I can. Let me start by saying, of course, if a particular member of the team is brilliant in what he or she does, eventually, hopefully, the company will realize that, and he will be or she will be given sort of a better position or a higher pay. So there's always a difference when it comes to wages, potentially, where the better member of the team or the more performing member of the team will eventually receive more. But the team is the team. You don't do anything, even as a frontman, if the other guys behind you don't help you in the same way. So for us, and this is not just me, of course, this is the whole team as well, for our company, it feels fair to share equally to everyone. Then the wages, the salary will make the difference of what someone takes home.
on the basis that that goes to that waiter or waitress. You can't guarantee that's what happens, can you?
Well, not that particular money from that day, but then all together summed up and then divided, a part of that will go to them. But I think it's mostly the idea of the team. I don't think that this conversation has started because people were, or colleagues of mine in our industry were potentially complaining about not receiving the particular tip that had been given. I think that this started as a conversation because some of the companies might not be sharing the tips with the people that should be getting them in the first place, and that's the main issue. Then, of course, if the issue eventually is I have been given a certain amount last night, where is that money? Well, in our company, that would be a little tricky to possibly work out, but we're happy, of course, to talk, and we'll find a solution. The bottom line is we don't take any of that anyway, so if they decide to do it in a different way, I will be willing and happy to listen and to act. But
now, Paolo, before we lose you, just a quick question. There's been a big employment issue, hasn't there, in the hospitality sector with, I think, about 700,000 vacancies. Are you finding the same troubles are affecting you?
Yes, we do, and I believe the whole industry does, and there's a sort of a combination of factors. Many of our colleagues that have been unfortunately not really productive for the last 14 months not because of them, of course. Some of them retrained in different fields, some of them might have left the country to go somewhere else. So it is tricky, yes. We are trying to be as competitive as possible, not only with the wages, but also with the type of jobs. But this is our industry, and I think we'll come out of this. It's just a little bit longer time, let's say. That's what it will cure.
Paolo, really good to talk to you. Paolo Tonoletto, thank you so much. Wish you well. And we want to know what you think about all this, so do get in touch. Join in our conversation as ever. That email address, gbviews@gbnews.uk.
Now, a bit later, we will hear the latest news from East Midlands and Wales.
You're watching GB News. Just want to let you know that we're going to bring you some pictures from that fire we've been reporting out throughout the last hour or so in South London, Elephant and Castle Station. It's under control. Photographs showing an incident unfolding at around 12:30, and many of you phoning in actually to say there've been plume of black smoke which could be seen across the capital's skyline. Nobody injured, but 10 fire engines and around 70 firefighters involved in putting it out. And as you can see, it's now under control. These pictures coming in from Elephant and Castle. We've been told that 4 cars and a telephone box were destroyed in that incident, which also affected 3 units under the arches at Elephant and Castle Station. But there you are, that's the latest. It's come to an end, that incident, with just a clear-up operation now underway.
Yeah, dramatic pictures this morning, but good news there that there have been no reported casualties or injuries. But if anything changes, we will, of course, be the first to let you know. So stand by for that. But first of all, let's have a little look at the weather.
Hello again. Sunny spells across much of the north of the UK, whereas further south it is fairly grey, and some thunderstorms still possible through the rest of today. There is a Met Office yellow warning in place being created by this area of low pressure, fairly slow moving low pressure. High pressure is dominating across the north, hence why here it's been, by and large, a fine day with quite a bit of sunshine. A zone of cloudier weather persisting over North Wales, parts of the Midlands, and it's in the far south where skies brightening up, but that warmth and sunshine triggering a few isolated thunderstorms. The Met Office yellow warning in place through this evening. Later in the night, some heavy rain may return to the south coast. Much of the south staying cloudy and therefore quite mild, whereas further north with the clear skies, it will turn quite chilly. Temperatures well down into single figures through the glens of Scotland, but here by and large another fine day on Tuesday with some sunshine, a bit cloudier around the coasts across the far north, a bit more cloud again across the Midlands, parts of Wales, a little bit of showery rain here, and always the threat of some patchy rain at times along the south coast. Temperatures generally up into the high teens, low 20s, but with some sunshine across southwest Scotland. 25 Celsius is possible. Cooler again though on those coasts in the far north, where it stays fairly grey. A continued threat of 1 or 2 showers in the southeast as we go into Wednesday, but we'll see more cloud through Tuesday night, spilling its way into these eastern counties of England and across a good part of Scotland. A little bit of drizzle here and there as well as we start Wednesday, but I don't think that'll amount to too much. We will see some showery rain across East Anglia and the far southeast. Small chance of 1 or 2 showers on Wednesday across Wales and southwest England, but many western areas dry and fine on Wednesday with some sunshine. Always staying quite cloudy across these eastern areas, and it will be quite cool here, but in the sunny spells for the west, temperatures in the 20s.
Do you find it hard to get to sleep? Do you toss and turn, constantly waking up with aches and pains? Do you get up in the morning still feeling tired and irritable? This is the Octasmart Essentials mattress. It's been designed to feel cool and supremely comfortable and to give you deep, refreshing, blissful sleep. It's designed by experts and it's made from high-quality materials, which is why we've given it our exclusive 18-year warranty and our 60-night sleep guarantee. And right now, the Octasmart Essentials mattress is available at an incredible half price. We have reimagined and re-engineered our award-winning OctaSpring technology into the incredible Octacell comfort layer at the heart of the mattress. This Octacell layer has 3 brilliant benefits. 1. Each of the 10,000 Octacells acts like an individual support cell, properly distributing your weight for pressure-free sleep. No more aching hips, numb arms, and struggling to feel comfortable. 2. Octacells allow air to easily flow through the mattress. Warm air is dispelled and cool, fresher air is drawn in, keeping the surface fresh and hygienic and you feeling cool and comfortable whatever the season. 3. The special design means that when you move, your partner feels much less transfer of movement, meaning better, longer, deeper sleep for you both. But the benefits don't stop there. Dormeo are proud to finish this mattress with their signature cover. It's naturally hypoallergenic, and the hundreds of air pockets and the mesh sides help boost the cool, fresh feeling and the amazing air circulation. The Essentials mattress has been designed by Dormeo's sleep experts and contains high-quality materials and workmanship. That's why we've given it our 18-year warranty. Imagine not having to replace your mattress for at least the next 18 years. We're so confident that you will love the difference that your Essentials mattress will make, and that you, your guests, and your family will enjoy proper, restful, comfortable sleep that we're giving it our 60-night sleep guarantee. Sleep on it for 2 months, and if you're not enjoying cool, comfortable, refreshing sleep, simply return it for a full refund. Plus, it comes in 2 great comfort choices for your perfect mattress and your perfect sleep. The Aerocell mattress has a firmer feel and exceptional support, while the Memory mattress cradles your body for a softer, more luxurious feel. Whichever feel you choose, they're both available right now at half price. But to make this offer unmissable, we will even include an Essentials pillow as a free bonus. Featuring the same Octacell layer as the mattress, enjoy a pillow that is cool, incredibly supporting, and extremely comfortable. It's worth £30 and it's yours as a free bonus. So call the number on the screen or go online right now to secure your very own Octasmart Essentials mattress. You don't have to spend thousands to experience incredible sleep. Octasmart Essentials mattress can be yours at half price at only £299 for a double. The first night you own it, you'll fall asleep feeling cool, comfortable and supported all night long. And you'll wake every morning feeling refreshed, revived and full of energy. And with our half price offer, it's a sleep package that is unmissable. Call or go online right now.
Welcome back. Now it's time to cross to a couple of our reporters we have stationed around the country, and with us today we have Lily Hewitson, our Welsh correspondent in Cardiff, and Hanisha Sethi, she's in Newark. Hanisha, let's start with you. I understand there's a very special World War II veteran I think you've been finding out more about.
That's right. There's a 106-year-old veteran from Derbyshire who's been achieving his lifelong dream, but with a bit of a twist. So it's Donald Rose, and he had this lifelong ambition to fly a plane, and he's done so now, but by operating a flight simulator. Now, after completing the experience, he said that he never would have thought in a million years that something like this could happen to him. But a bit about Donald Rose. Well, he was a frontline soldier in World War II. He's originally from Surrey, but joined the army at the young age of 23 and fought in battles in North Africa, France and and Italy, and he received a number of medals and has also been awarded France's highest honour as well. But the whole experience was actually organised by Donald Rose's care home advisor, Naomi Allsop. I have a quote from her as well. She said that he's a beautiful soul inside and out, and all the staff at the care home simply love him. He's just amazing. But that isn't the only thing that Donald Rose has been achieving as well. It's not the only thing on his bucket list, actually, because he's also had a ride in a fire engine in the past, which was also on the list. And he's also been reunited with motorbikes that he used to ride as a young lad. So at the old age of 106, I'm wondering what else is on his bucket list and what more he's going to achieve during his lifetime.
Thank you very much. Let's go over to Lily, because Lily, you're in Cardiff city centre and there's news about the workforce there.